Hey guys, this is Hellhades. This is going to be a raid optimizer guide video. We've launched the raid optimizer. This is not going to be for everyone, but I felt like we're getting asked a lot of the same questions over and over. So what better way than to try and help people through it by putting out a guide video. It will be segmented, so if you want to find a particular part of the video and jump to that, you can. Obviously we will aim to improve all of this stuff as we go as well. Within the actual tool, there will be little video clips that will appear as kind of like pop-up help guides, but it takes a little bit of time to implement that stuff. So basically, what are we going to do here? We're going to go end to end. How do you log in? How do you upload your champs? How do you lock your champs? All this stuff, different stuff. We're going to do it all in this video. So we're going to start off with the membership stroke kind of like login page. So this is all done on hellhades.com under premium membership, and basically you choose what membership you want to do. I'm going to start by just rolling this out there. People are asking me, you know, when's it going to be free for everyone? Blah blah blah, all this type of stuff. Not for a while. And the reason being, we've already, with a few members that we've got that are using the tool, we're already overrun with questions. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Can you help me log into the account? Can you check my whatever? We've only got a really, really small team. And if we rolled this out to 1 million players and everyone decided to do it, it would be impossible to work and the tool would probably go in the bin. So we don't want that. We want it to continue to evolve. Eventually, parts of it will be rolled out to everyone. Eventually, I don't know when. The tool is also not available for mobile users or Mac users at the moment. Mac users we're kind of working on, but that could be like a couple of months down the road, a month down the road, I'm not sure. But for player and play users on a PC, then you can log in and get it done today. Even if you're playing on mobile, you can actually log into Player in Play, download the Player in Play app, and do this work on an old laptop or a PC, whatever, and then go back to your mobile. So it is doable, but only if you've got access to a PC with Windows. So once you're in the premium membership section, you log in here with your login details, and you become you're logged into the page, and then you go into Raid Optimizer Beta. And then at this stage, it asks you to log in again. At no point are we asking you to use Player in Play logins, anything like that. You're always going to use your Hellhades website login details. Okay, we don't want any of that other stuff. Okay, so you then go into the actual login window here, hit login with your details. Sometimes there's a little glitch where your username didn't work, but actually your email address to the website works instead as your username. So that's a bit of a tip. If you are still struggling to log in after that, you can go back to that initial Hellhades page. In the premium membership, you can go into member login and you can manually reset your password here. Once you've done that, again, that's fixed the problem for a few people. So there are a couple of quick fixes. Now, in the artifact extractor, this is like the main tool. You need to hit artifact extractor, the one in blue. It also tells you all the kind of change logs here around what we've done so far. But if you hit the extractor, you'll get a little download zip like this pop up. Check in your downloads. And you see the extractor tool here. You need to extract the whole tool. So extract tool. Find somewhere on your PC that you want to put it. So I'm putting mine on desktop here. I'm creating a new folder. I'm calling it HH tool. And then I'm putting everything in there. So select folder and extract. And at that point, the tool is now on your system. You then need to double click the extractor. Now, you have to have Player in Play open and you have to have your game logged in for this to work. So you hit extractor. It will say Windows is protecting you. Some people may have to do an exception for their antivirus stuff. So I had to do it on my AVG. I know some people have had to do it in Norton as well. So accept, run anyway, and then you get this little pop-up tool. all of this, guys, people are going to ask probably at this point, like, how can you give me 100% clarification that it's safe and all that type of stuff? It's safe, and you know, we've got people using it, but you know, I can't really give you any more than that. So at this point, we are running all of the safety stuff on our website. You know, we've got defense systems on our website. Even if someone tries to hack the website, all they're going to get from our website is email addresses if they manage to do it. We don't hold any people's payment details. We don't hold any player in play access, any of that stuff. But that's on you guys, whether you want to or not. So we then put our login details here. And it turns into this file. Press upload to website. Takes a few seconds to pull your info, and then you get this window pop back up. So at this point, it's now uploaded. You see here, load account information. And what it's done is it's taken a moment in time of your gear, your champions, all of that stuff. So if you then were farming right now, so if I was in raid right now and I farmed a stage of dragon, the new artifact that I just farmed will not show in this tool. Okay? Won't show. So what you'd have to do is if you went and farmed a load more gear, then you'd have to re-upload it. Or if you went and changed a load of stuff in the game, you'd have to re-upload that moment in time. Okay? So what we've got then, we've got a number of different options up the top. We've got heroes, artifacts, and the main two. Click on heroes, and it will show you all of the champions that you've got in the game. There's filters here, so you can filter by someone's name. You can just type Seer. It's got like sensible filtering, so as soon as you start typing a name, it will pop up with options. You can select by just a faction, by just an affinity, by someone's role, by rarity, and by locked and unlocked champions. So this is a feature we've just added. So what is locking and unlocking? Basically, if I do not want to touch anyone on my clan boss team, I can lock their gear. That means that the tool will not look for their gear. If you try and re-gear the same champion, the tool will still not look for his own gear because that gear is locked in the tool. Okay, so I can lock my arena team, I could lock my clan boss team, you know, I can lock whoever I want if I don't want to touch their gear, but I want to be able to filter out, find everyone else's gear. Okay, so you lock as many as you need to, and if you check here the status, I can actually just look at who's locked on my account right now. Okay, if at any point I want to unlock them, I can just re-press the padlock here and unlock everybody again. So if I want to do like a full rework and I have all of my gear open, I can unlock all of my champions. Whenever you lock someone, that champion will stay locked forever unless you ascend them. Because the way the game works is once you've ascended someone, the game actually gives it a different name or a different code in the background. If you're just leveling someone, it's fine. But as soon as you ascend someone, they become a different character in the game and they won't be locked anymore. But if you come back to this page in 2 days' time to do your next re-gear, the same champions will be locked if you've locked them here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to unlock all of mine for what I'm showing you. There's a second tab then that's called Artifacts. This just, in a similar way to the champion page, shows you all the gear you own. So if you just want to filter around with artifacts, so if I just want to look for stuff that's not equipped in speed gear, and I want to look at a weapon and find my fastest weapon. Yeah, so what it does is, in this tool, we rank it best to worst. So you see here, I've got 17 plus 2 speed is my fastest weapon I'm not currently equipped. And then the second one is 12, 10, etc. So you can just play around with filtering here if you want to, if you just want to quickly kind of find a piece of gear. So if we go back into heroes then, if I want to re-gear someone, so let's say I want to make my Arbiter now my fastest champion. I want my Arbiter to have all of my fastest speed gear. I go into this page here and it tells me what is currently going on with my Arbiter. So I've got a 339 speed. It's got all of the pieces that I've got equipped on the left-hand side. And then again, we've got all of the gear pieces on the right-hand side. Now, we go into Optimize Artifacts. And this is where the magic starts to happen. So this is where we start to get into the real kind of power of what the tool can do. But it's not super easy yet. And that's why I'm doing this guide, actually, because a lot of people are struggling with little kind of tweaky bits. So what I'm trying to do is get information out to the masses, or not the masses, the people that are using it, to give them a more effective use of the tool so far. And as I say, we are enhancing it. We've got whole Trello boards of kind of fixes and enhancements. There's actually a section in my Discord, which I will show here because it's important for those on the kind of beta test. We've got a section in the Discord called HH Website. So any general website feedback we take, love it. Any feedback specifically on the optimizer, we love it. Success stories as well. We've got a number of people here that are already doing crazy stuff with this tool, which is awesome. There's also already a to-do list you see here that's being updated, and we're ticking stuff off as they're done. And there's a change log as well. So before you kind of throw out there, this isn't working, this is not working, see if it's already on our to-do list. So a big one that's on the to-do list is that lifesteal is not working right now, which is a big one that we need to improve or fix, but it's not working. So, you know, I don't want to, after this video, I don't want to answer what's going on with lifesteal 70 times this morning. It's on the cards. Okay, so let's get into what it can do then. So we've got preset tools, which are kind of, mainly they're a guide, okay? So let's say you were building your Coldheart. If I press Coldheart here, it's not going to pull Coldheart in as a champion. It's going to take me to the preset that we've built for Coldheart, okay? So basically what it's saying here is, for the average user, you want a Coldheart with at least 170 speed. You want enough accuracy to land your Heartseeker. You want enough health to stay alive. You want 70% crit rate. And then you want to get as much crit damage as you can. Yeah, this is what this is saying. Probably want to pull that back a bit, actually. And I'll tell you why in a little while. But if you do this as your build and hit Optimize, obviously this isn't Coldheart, pretend it is. I hit Optimize at this point, and I can search for so many of my best artifacts for those slots here. Tells you how many seconds roughly it's going to be. So it starts here, and basically you can go up and say, I want to search my whole account. But that is crazy big. And this is going to change as well. This is too much at the moment. I hit the start, and then what it does is it throws out the different builds that I could get for this Arbiter with a kind of Coldheart setup. You see here it's throwing out 257 speeds, which is high. So if I max my speed out and say, actually, this is where the intervention comes in, okay? Because I've got good gear. So I could max my speed out here and say, I don't want more than 220 though. And then I could optimize again, clear that one, start again, optimize. And this time the speed is reduced, but my crit damage starts to go up, potentially, or my health's gone up. So there's, at the moment, there's some tweaks that you need to do to get the best out of the tool. So if I was to go back into that same filter again and say, hold on a minute, I don't want to go above though, 40,000 health, because I want the crit damage to be the main one. Yeah, and that's the type of thing that we're finding right now, is tweaking it up and down is really kind of helping. So you might then pull the importance of health down a bit to look like it was pulling a lot of health items and speed items as well, so that it does know that crit damage is really where we want to go. Clear again, start again, and third time round, I've got lower health. I've still got quite high health actually, the right speed, and I've got now nearly 300% crit damage. So you see, first time round, it was okay. Second time round, it was better. Third time round, I think we've got a build. And that's kind of where you need to get to. Once you've then found a build, you hit view and you find where or who owns the pieces at the moment, if anyone does. And then you go back into raid and you physically equip those pieces. Once you've done that equip, you can do one of two things. You can actually equip it here, and then the tool is back up to date. Yeah? So once you've equipped it in raid, you can equip it here, and the tool would be up to date because you've equipped it in game. Or you can go back to here, and you can re-upload to the website as long as player in play is open and raid is open, and it will give you a fresh look as to what your account now looks like. So we're not going to do that though right now. We're going to build Arbiter as a speed champion. And I'm just going to talk you through. So we've got Speed Booster as a freebie, as a kind of like preset. And that one literally just says, all I care about is fast. All I want is as fast as I can be. And I'll show you some of the other things here. So I can say, I only want you to look at certain slots. I can say, I only want you to look at speed gear and divine speed gear. Yeah. I can say, at the moment it's set to as a preset, equip all artifacts or include equipped artifacts. That will include equipped artifacts except people that are locked. And then it's set to any gear at the moment that's rolled to at least level 8. So I can actually say, now hold on a minute, I want it to be any gear that's rolled up to at least level 16. And then I can hit the start. And then all this is going to do is show me my fastest possible Arbiter build. And once you've got to that, you can see here I've got a number of options. I've actually got high accuracy and high health for this Arbiter build. What I could try and do, so if I know that 354 is my best speed, I could actually try and say, well, I wonder if I can still get to 354, but make defense a bit more of a priority as well. And then clear and start. And actually, if I want defense as a higher priority, my speed drops to 343, but I can get 4.3k defense, which may be better for the build you want to do, depending on what you're doing. So just bear in mind, you can kind of, I always say start kind of basic with what you want and then tweak up from there. So let's clear that and let's do one without a preset. So let's reset everything, reset settings, takes us back to a fresh canvas, ignore the presets, and then we go into stats. This is where people are probably having the most trouble right now. This is the most challenging part because it's been built by a big brain developer who, when he is using it, he knows exactly what this does. Yeah, he knows how he's built it, and it makes complete logical sense in his brain how he's built it. What we're going to do over time is tweak it so that even someone without a brain can use it. We're not there yet. We're not there. So unfortunately, you're going to have to get that brain working a touch. So what you can do, if you just push min-max on, if you just were to type min-max everywhere. So if you were to say, I want 200 to 250. Tabbing does work here, by the way. I'm tabbing through these things. If I want 50% to 100%, if I want 100 to 250, if I want accuracy to be at least 200 to 220, yeah? This is where a lot of people will start, okay? This is what a lot of people will start with, and it makes complete sense that you're starting there because it looks like that's what you should do. And hopefully at some point in the future, it's exactly what you will be able to do. At the moment, if I put all of these settings in and say, find me this gear, optimize, start, it will say, at least one stat needs an importance slider. And you're probably like, why? I've told you exactly what I want. What the importance slider does right now is you're telling the importance slider to find pieces of gear with those stats on it. Okay, so if I just do this, critical damage, I want damage, push my damage through the roof. Actually, what you're doing is you're telling the tool to look for items that have really high rolls of crit damage. You are not telling the tool to find a build with the most crit damage in it. It's really different. It's a really different request. So if I just said plus 16 here, it would still, and maybe it's going to find something, it doesn't, because it can't find enough of the other stats. Okay, so health, we've probably got enough stats really in like main stat gear, but for sub-stat rolls, I'm going to have to tell it to look for speed. Now, my account, I can get up to like 350 speed. We've just seen that. So if I say speed, crit damage, crit rate, what it's going to be doing is it's going to be looking for items that have got, it's going to prioritize at least items that have got good speed rolls, good crit chance rolls, and good crit damage rolls. And you know, that's hard to get in the game. It's really hard to do. So actually, you need to be way more liberal with your sliders and play around with the sliders a bit. So actually, for my account, I probably want things with like a mid-roll of speed. And it might be that I just want one roll of speed on most items to get to 250. Crit chance, I might want just one roll of crit chance to get myself between 50 and 100. And crit damage, I might just want 1 or 2 rolls of crit damage to find what I need. Health, I probably don't need any importance on it at all. Defense, I might just need to put up to 1. Accuracy, I might need to put up to 1 as well. And then what it's doing is saying, okay, so I'm going to look for some pieces that have got maybe a roll in defense, maybe a roll in accuracy, probably 1 roll in crit chance, and then definitely want to find some stuff with speed rolls, and I definitely want to find some stuff with crit damage rolls. And then if I say here, start, I start to get some options, okay? Because I've moved the sliders. And it's the hardest thing to do. And then if we look at where the builds ended up, actually the builds ended up, if I see this one, good crit rate, high crit damage, high speed, or good defense, high HP. Yeah, so I've got the result that I wanted. But it's not quite as easy as we want it to be yet. One kind of common one that I'm seeing over and over again is a man-eater build. So people trying to build their man-eater for clan boss. And if we go into artifacts here and we go into stats, so it might be that you want, literally all you want is a 265 speed man-eater. That's your requirement. And you want him to have as much, you want him to have as close to 100 crit rate as possible, so maybe 80 to 100, and you want as much crit damage as you can. And what I'm seeing people do is this. And then actually people think, well, hold on a minute, no, I also want a lot of attack, so do this. And again, that makes sense to my brain. I'm like, yes, I can see what you're trying to do. But if I hit optimize there, the tool struggles to find what you need. Okay? So actually what you need to do is realize to yourself that you probably not, even though you want a lot of attack, you probably don't want a lot of attack rolls. You just want attack in your build. So the importance of attack is way less than you think it is. It's more like a 2 or a 3. The importance of crit damage to find this specific gear is probably more like a 6, because actually you're going to have speed rolls to get you to the level of speed that you need. You're going to have probably a crit roll on most pieces to get you to the crit that you need. So maybe we would try this instead and see if this works. And it might be that at the moment we've got it set to just finding like the best 2 pieces per slot. You might need to, you can use the right arrow key, by the way, or the left arrow key to move this up, because the sliders are a little bit tricky to use, which again we will change. And you can see the more pieces per slot I'm looking for, the more time it takes. So it might be for this build that I actually want to take the 20 seconds and look for 7. And I hit start, and then you just need a bit of patience to see if this is going to pull through. And I think it's probably not. It's not pulled anything up yet. But that's fine, like, because you just kind of need to work the system, and you need to work with your gear to kind of make it happen. So it looks like we're not going to get anything through. What I've been finding, so let's clear that. What I've been finding that I can do is if I just pull that down to 1 less speed, 264 to 265, and maybe throw in a minimum crit damage that I want, and try again. Still doesn't like it. I'm going to do this live. Like, maybe I shouldn't do it like this, but I'm going to do it straight up as I'm doing it and keep it in the video, just so you can see what I'm doing, because a lot of you will do the same. So maybe we actually need to tell it a minimum attack as well. 2,000. And start. Here we go. Okay, so we've tweaked a couple of things. And now you can see, even though I put 264 to 265 speed, I've actually got a load of 265 options, which is what I wanted. It's not perfect, guys. And I know that I want it to be perfect, but it's not yet. So we kind of have to play with what we've got whilst we're improving it. But you can see on these builds, I've actually got nice crit damage, 3.7k attack, 265 on the nose speed. And from here, so you've got your base now, and from here you can start to tweak. So it might be then, let's go back into that set again. We're at 149, 150 crit damage. We're a bit over on crit rate. So it might be that instead of a soft cap crit rate, I say a hard cap. Take the soft cap off. Soft cap basically means I don't mind if you go over a little bit. And I might just pull that importance back a touch and move this one up a touch. And then see if we're still able to find good results. So clear, restart. We're still getting results. And now I'm getting the 100 crit rate. I've still got my right speed. And now my crit damage is spiking up a lot more. You see? So we started somewhere and then we're tweaking until we get to the point where we're happy. So actually, I'm going to try and force that a touch more. Where were we? 200 odd. That's not had the improvement that I wanted. So you'd think throwing that up higher is going to improve my build. It hasn't. It's brought it backwards because the tool is looking for crit damage rolls that have had more than one roll now. And we've not got as many with these other stats on them as well. So I might pull that back. I might actually say, you know what? I know I can get 200 now. So I'm going to say 200 as my minimum. And just try my luck. And now we're going 220. Less attack, more crit damage. You see what's happening? And probably what you find is you end up with some weird pieces on that you never would have thought. Like this has got a defense chest on. This build. It blows my mind. So in the tool, what you can do from here then, once you've decided the build you're going to pick, you can go into the game, equip the items that you want to pick. So if I was going with this set, I'd equip the items in the game. I can also equip the items in the tool. Yeah, so now the tool is now saying those items have moved. And I can lock the champion. And then that champion is ready. You then go and build the next parts of your team. So that's a really cool feature. You could also, if you didn't want to do it that way, you could also equip the items in the game, repress upload to website, and it'll give you a fresh view of what's going on. There has been times where people have done that, where they come back on to that main page, and it doesn't show. So if I press it actually, upload to website, come back to this page, and it doesn't show their heroes or their artifacts anymore. We're not quite sure why that's happening, but and everyone's like, whoa, that's broken, what's going on? Basically, all you need to do is close down the artifact optimizer, close down player in play and raid, start them both back up again, and it works. We're not sure what's going on with that. So next thing I want to show you is how to build people with 4-piece sets. So I'm going to take Foley as an example. I'm going to build him as Savage, okay? Now, you would think that all you need to do is go into... Well, let me show you what you need to do first. So there is a preset here that shows you Arena Nuka Savage. That can work for you. But the other thing you can do is you can go into Sets yourself, and you can select None, and then you can just pick Savage. Now, in your brain, you're probably thinking, well, if I pick Savage and Cruel, I'm going to get 4 pieces of Savage, 2 pieces of Cruel. It makes complete sense. That's what should happen. It's not happening yet. What's happening right now is it will give you a mixture of your best pieces of Savage and Cruel together, and it won't understand that Savage is a 4-piece set. So actually what you have to do at the moment is you pick Savage, you get your presets in. So let's, I'm actually going to go with the Savage Nuka preset. And then just check the stats. Because I know what the sliders do now, we're just going to tweak this because I now understand it better. Okay, that will change in the presets. Don't worry about that. That's going to change. I can hit Optimize, and what it's going to do is find me my best 6 pieces of Savage gear. That's how it's going to work right now. Yeah, so I've got a 250 of crit damage Savage, 180 speed, 5k attack at the top. That all looks beautiful. And what I can do is go into the game, equip the 6 pieces that I want. Sorry, the four pieces of Savage that I want to equip. Okay. In the tool, I tell it I've actually equipped all of that gear, all 6 pieces. So the tool now thinks that Foley's wearing all 6 pieces of that Savage gear. I can go back into sets, take Savage off, and then choose whatever I want. So I could just choose Cruel, or I could choose Cruel and crit damage. And then I could go into slots and say, I've equipped everything apart from a helm and a weapon. And all I want you to do is to look at the helm and the weapon in those 2 new sets that I've picked and optimize to the same stats. Stats stay the same. Optimize again. Couldn't find anything in those sets. So we now need to broaden the sets out. So maybe I need to throw speed in there as well. Optimize again. And then it looks like we're going to have, end up being 2 bits of crit damage, weirdly. But yeah, so basically, I don't know. I don't really know why that didn't work the first time around, if I'm honest. But basically, we've now got a build that's got savage and crit damage together, and it still hits the parameters that I wanted in the first place. Okay? If I show another example of a clan boss champion, let's pick Razin. So Razin for clan boss, we're going to optimize. We want him in lifesteal gear. Yeah? I can pick up the basic nightmare clan boss build. Again, because I know what these sliders now do perfectly, we're going to pull those back a lot. Just put a bit of emphasis on some of the other stats. I've got a pre-build in here, but actually for me, I want to just enhance it a bit. So I want to have at least 50% crit chance. I want to have at least 100 crit damage. I go into sets, I clear this off, and I pick lifesteal. And then I optimize. Again, I can kind of leave it as my default, or I could just pick up and say, actually, I want you to work a bit harder for me. 7, I think, is a good number. And I get these builds. Now, these builds are going to be 6 pieces of lifesteal gear. Yeah? So, for this top one, I've got 6 pieces of lifesteal gear. I'm going to tell the tool that I have equipped that gear. But in the actual game, I'm only equipping 4 pieces. Yeah? And then I go into the slots and say, I've equipped everything apart from the... Oh, I'm doing it the wrong way around. Go back into the tool and say, now all I want you to look at for me is the chest and the gloves. And it might be here, because we know we can do it pretty comfortably just in lifesteal, it might be that we select all and then we start trying to push our luck on the damage and the pieces. So we might now say, you know what? 50, no, let's go 75, and crit damage, let's go at least 150. We might say, you know what, we want a bit more defense than that as well, let's try and go to 39. Yeah, so you're kind of pushing your build up. Hit your optimize, clear the initial view, start again, and then it's going to have found pieces to fill the last 2 spots for you. And you've moved your build on a level from where you were, plus you've got your lifesteal set that you wanted. Hoping that makes sense, because although it's not perfect yet, it's definitely viable. It's definitely usable to do it that way. You just need to work with the tool as it is in its current state whilst we're trying to improve it. So guys, there's tons you can do with this tool now. It's crazy. It's crazy good. The more I use it day in, day out, the more I realize what I can do. Get involved. Make sure you feedback on the Discord anything you find that doesn't feel quite right. Make sure you check the change log and the kind of to-do list before feeding back a load of stuff that we already kind of know about, because it's hard to trawl through everything. That's it, guys. I've been Hellhades. Good luck.